Good morning, everyone. Hopefully all the sound is on and everything's working. Let me just pause and have a listen. Hey, it is actually working. What a shocker. Yes, of course, every Saturday is not complete unless I'm fighting with my audio for the stream. Hey, everyone, welcome back to Satisfactory. Good to have you here. Good to be here. Good to be anywhere. Yeah, we are continuing on with our Satisfactory. First thing let's get out of the way is you'll notice in the top corner here, let me bring up the menu. You'll notice there's no more banner up here. That's right. We are no longer in the experimental branch. We are in the full release. The Satisfactory 1.1. Oh my goodness, that's pretty. Is no longer in in experimental. It is in the full release now. So we are playing in the stable, quote unquote, release for this. Not like I've had any real problems with the experimental mode or anything like that. So we are... nothing really anything different, to be perfectly honest. All right, so yes, we are in our new kind of city area here where we got our new train slots, and we have a tower forming behind us. Let's have a look here. You can see I've gone ahead and filled in some of the walls here. I've kind of added in the front fascia here for the kind of train section. And I filled in the four walls, kind of worked out how I want them all to look. But otherwise, really haven't done anything since last week. A few cosmetic things and playing around, but that's about it. That's what we're going to do today. Hopefully what we're going to do today is we're going to get our supercomputers completed. If we have a quick boo here in our Satisfactory modeler, let me just bring all of that up here, get my screens organized here. So if we have a quick look in the Satisfactory modeler, the line we're working on here is this grouping. So we're getting all that. Last week, we got ourselves up to here. We got all of these guys done. So the things we got left to do is we need to get the AI limiters done. We need to get the computers computing, and then we need to get the high-speed connectors connecting, all feeding in to give us our supercomputers, which should be pretty straightforward and easy. I'm hoping I can get... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get all of this on what's left in the floors up there, because I wanted to have a kind of a separate floor for this. I got a plan how to get the supercomputers to the rest of the factory, and I kind of liked, yeah. Anyway, let's see what we got going here. So again, we're just in the tracks here. I've done these little kind of pass-throughs here. I like to make sure everything is fully walkable, so I have these little pass-throughs underneath here, so I don't have to constantly jump over the track, because, you know, that is so hard to do. Ironically, I have to duck to get through this one, so not really super great, but most of the other ones here work just fine, where I can sort of squeeze underneath here if I need to. Now, it's not like I'm not going to have my hover pack or anything like that, or jetpack fuel, but I still like the things to be walkable. So let's take a little quick ride in the old elevator here and see what we got. So yeah, just to kind of, let me out. Just to kind of review what we got going on, we have our train stations down here. So this is where... Whoops, let's get back into the game here. So yeah. Why does it sound so quiet? Where's my desktop audio? Where's the game sound? Oh, stand by. There we go. Oh, every freaking Saturday, it's the same thing. You'd think I would get it to work all the time. All right, so yeah, here we go. We are... Ain't the joys of live broadcasting just so fun? Yeah, so again, to review, this is the train station. This is where the things come in and things go out. We got one train here ready to go that is bringing all our stuff from the... kind of in the back forest there, where we have our quartz, our copper, and our deuterium. So this is all providing that, which is kind of the backstop of the factories. Oh my goodness, backstop of the factories here. there's always the transition time between Space Engineers and Satisfactory. It really is the difference, like going from an automatic transmission to a manual transmission and dealing with the clutch. So yeah, always a little bit awkward. Lovely little space station going on up there, or the space elevator top platform. Lovely. Yeah, so let's take a quick trip up there. So this is just a short little ride here. We'll just ride up to the next level. So this is kind of the main plaza or utility level down here. So this just kind of rides up there. This will be basically the open crawl space for all of the rest of the buildings, and we can either go up our little stairs here, or we can transfer to this elevator over here. So if we take a quick ride here, we go up to the next stop. I love the elevator. This takes us to the main lobby, which then also takes us out into this area. So this will be kind of the main platform here, all the other buildings. So the next building would be right here, and then next after that, and then after that, and after that. And let's run back inside here. Yep, random, yeah, very random little fix-it shop there. Well, we'll just leave that there for now. And we can head back in here. We got our staircase in the building here, so just to kind of review. Oh, this is not good. Yep, so first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to correct the Lumen settings here. So again, in the description, you'll find this string that I'm about to paste in here. So let me go grab it. So we're going to go and copy, and then we're going to hit the tilt button to get into the console. We are going to paste that command line in there, and that is going to immediately fix the Lumen settings and make it so that, you know, signs actually work as lights. All right, so we have our lovely little staircase here that'll take us up, but, you know, let's take the elevator and let's head up to the top floor. Not these two top floors, because there's nothing there yet, just an elevator shaft, but we are going to go up to the 56-meter floor. I will probably have to, I'll say that I'm going to have to rename them and never do, but let's take a trip up here. You can pass through our floors, and there we go. This is our circuit board floor. So this is where we left off last week, getting our circuit boards made. I've got everything hooked up, and we have got some stuff in the system here because I did one train load of material of copper and quartz and caterium. So that means we have got at least something here to make sure that the line is running. But that is all we've got up here so far. So what I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do is get the rest of the kind of support machines in here, but I really doubt I'm going to, because I need 2 more assemblers for the AI limiters, but the real kick in the pants is going to be the 8 manufacturers. Okay, technically 7.75, but you know, that's a lot of manufacturers and they take a lot of space. So I had to take a quick sip of the old coffee there. All right, and of course, just always check the stream, make sure my voice is coming through and everything is functioning. All right, so let's just see how many manufacturers I can actually get in this space. It's not usually a lot, and that is something that I'm gonna have. Yeah, so you can see that this is gonna take all of it. So what I think I'm gonna, can I even get 4 up here? So let's see how many I can actually squeeze in here. Try to keep things reasonably lined up as well. So let's say right there. Does that give me lots of room around? You are most definitely probably facing the wrong direction. So we'll take you off, flip you around, move you back into place, and let's drop you down. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to configure, I think I'm using the silicon one here. Yeah, I'm not using the regular one, I'm using the silicon one here. So we're gonna select that recipe, and then we are only needing 3.75, so I'm going to divide that by 4, so whoops, not 41, 4, so 0.3975, so we'll say 0.95%, so 95%. and that should give me the required amount. Now let's see if this actually, if I'm remembering that this system, the setup works now. I can select that machine, paste it in, and it should be the exact duplicate. Yes, it is. So perfect. And can I get 2 more in here? I'm thinking I can. And boop. All right, so that's going to be the high-speed connectors. I hit the wrong button again, and there we go. All right, let's hit that button so we can stop it. So that's going to be my high-speed connectors. I think I can still more or less get my plan with very minor adjustments. Mostly what I'm thinking is the next floor here. Yeah, nope, this should be okay. So next thing I need to do is let's get some more assemblers in for our AI limiters, and we're going to point them this way. And we'll just drop these guys in here. So I am going with open floor concept. Obviously, you can see that I haven't put up walls or anything around here. Are you where I want you to be? Are you kind of centered properly? Yeah, you are. Okay, so that's good. So we'll center you right there. Okay. Now these are clearly going to be the wrong ones. They're set up for circuit boards, so we're going to have to go in and change the recipe here to our AI limiters, which is copper sheet and quick wire. In fact, make my life easy, because that is so much easier to do now. Let's get you lined up properly. Where do I want to line you? Do I want to line you there? Sure, we'll do that. All right, so that's got the 2 assemblers in place, and everyone's doing their AI limiters. All right, so what do I need for my AI limiters? I need copper sheet and I need quick wire. Well, the copper sheet just happens to be right here, ready to go. Good old copper sheet. Nothing feeding up here right now because it's all gone into these machines there. But that's not a problem. All I need to do, though, is I still need to get a splitter in here, so we're gonna grab some of these. Oh yeah, that's right, I am pretty much almost out of aluminum sheet here, so I am gonna have to take a trip back to the main hub area, but in the meantime, let's get this done here, and we're gonna have you facing like that, we're gonna have you facing like that, we're gonna raise you up by a little bit like so, and we're gonna raise you up a little bit like so. All right, let's get our splitter in here. In fact, I think, can I bring this out elsewhere? Doesn't really look like it, because I went and smartly put these power poles right here. So again, my kind of my thinking here is that on the end of the line here, that's going to make these guys really kind of suffer a little bit. They don't need a lot. Yeah, I only need 37.5 between the 2 of them. Yeah, I think I should be able to get away. So my debate here is, because it's at the end of all of these guys here, which is using quite a bit. I love the vertical nudge. Using quite a bit of those copper sheets that I'm producing. My concern is that it's going to be very slow to get these to the machines here, but I think it should be okay. Really not sure. I almost think I want to not do that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it that way. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to split it in the subfloor. That's the whole point of having subfloors, and then just bring everything back up here. All right, so if we kind of quickly pop down in here, we can use our kind of access shaft here. So you can see our copper sheet is coming up right here. So that's where our copper sheet, so I could just split it off from right there. Of course, there is nothing in there because, we've run out. But what I'm looking for is down here. looking for where the quick wire is going to be flowing from. Now there's a whole bunch of quick wire ready to go. I just need to make sure it is going into the access port. So we're going to take a quick little ride over here, get down onto the ground here, and we can call the elevator. Actually, we can just take the staircase here. I am on the ground floor. Nope, I have filled in. There we go. Filled in one too many bits. So we'll pop downstairs, come out to this floor here, walk into here, and we should be able to find our quick wire in one of these little setups. So who are you? You are Silica. You are full. That's great. What are you guys doing over here? You are doing my Caterium ingots. All right, perfect. Where are you sending those ingots? I believe you are sending them. No, that's copper. Where are you sending those ingots? Silica. Copper ingots. Okay, so that's going into there. Or sorry, the Caterium ingots. So that's going into there. That comes up to here, which then goes to over here. So that one more floor upward. Let's get down onto the ground here and take the elevator or the staircase again. Need to make sure we keep that clear. All right, staircase again up to the top here. There we go. That's the correct floor. So you guys are doing, there's my quick wire. All right, so quick wire, where are you coming out? You are coming out right here, so I have yet to deal with you, which means I need to get you to go back to over there or up to here. And I think what'll look neater. Yeah, I don't really want a bunch of belts stretching across the room here. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to go to a Mark 4 belt. We're going to come out to here. We're going to grab ourselves a Mark 4 lift. That's going to go up to there. I'm just seeing kind of where it goes through. Whoops. Let's grab that again. And all right, so I'm looking right there. So I'm going to go hit that button, which is going to allow me to select my floor hole, and that should be just fine. And if I come down to there, yep, we got connection, and away goes my quick wire. So there we go. Okay, quick wire is moving upstairs. It is in the next floor underneath, so that's where I need it to be. Let's drop back down here. Let's just take the call the old elevator here. Getting tired of running up and down the stairs. There it comes, and we can just step across here and go up one more floor. And coming out right here. All right, so where does that coming out? There's my quick wire coming out right there. There's my copper. Perfect. Okay, so let us go back up one more floor, because now that I know that I'm bringing my supplies up, we can figure out how we're going to patch them into the main line here. So we just have to, I think I missed my door. Where's my door? There it is. All right. Gotta put some markers and stuff out there. Yeah, that's the one thing I really kind of suck at, is signage and coloring and, you know, those little decorative things. Not my strong suit, and it's always something that I'm really kind of impressed with other people's builds, and, you know, a little jealous, to be honest. But it's just, yeah, that's not one of my strong suits. My strong suit is building the machine lines. It's not really in the architecture. All my buildings tend to have very, very strong similarities to each other, just because I like what I like, kind of thing. But yeah, when it comes to that decorative stuff, just not my super forte here. I wish I was better at it. I mean, I try sometimes, but it's not where my mind goes. It's not where I have the patience or anything along those lines. It is just yeah, just something that doesn't come very natural or easy to me. It requires quite a bit of effort and usually a lot of trial and error, which is a lot of time spent, which I, you know, can be better spent actually building our factories. Okay, I'm going to change that up a little bit. Then we can bring our stuff up. Of course, we are out of aluminum sheets, so we're going to go back to the Mark IV, but that's okay because I don't need a lot of stuff. Pardon me. I just need enough stuff. Okay, so that'll be one, and then this will be the second one back into our Mark IVs, and we can feed across. All right, let's make sure we're using the straight, and we'll use the straight. Not that button. I want this button. So in, like I say, the other streaming or other series I'm doing, Space Engineers, whenever you hit X, that activates your jetpack. Unfortunately, that is not the same thing in this particular game here, so it always messes me up a little bit. All right. There we go. So that's going to be one, that's going to be the other. It doesn't really matter which one as long as they don't cross feed. All right, we can get a new splitter in there. We can not get a split. Oh, you went up one too many. Yeah, it always seems to be the way, just getting that height quite right. There we go. And we can stretch you over to there again. And hopefully now I can get my splitter in. Too close to the corner. Fine. You know what I can do? I can move. Nope. We need to get the input going the right way. There we go. We could just nudge you along, lift you up, and be done with it. Come back a little bit and drop down by one, and there we go. All right, gonna have to replace these guys here, which are just Mark IIs. Right, I got rid of the belt, and for some odd reason my jetpack turned off. Okay, and now we need some belts. You please cooperate. You, no. Thank you. You go into there. You snap to there. And grab the belt, and you go into there. All right. Okay, so those guys are ready to feed. Excellent. By the way, where am I putting these? These are all going straight into the supercomputer, so they're all going to go upstairs. Excellent. I need to start bringing rubber in, and I'm going to need the circuit boards for here, but let me get this guy's piped up first, or connected up. So we'll just drop in through the convenient hole over here, come down into here, and like I say, doesn't matter which one is which. And lights just kind of caught up with me there. That's great. Okay, so copper sheet is right here. Will it line up with that? It almost does, but not quite. So we're going to come all the way over to here. We're going to put our splitter in right there. We're going to grab another Mark IV and another Mark IV, and we are going to make sure we're using the straight functionality. Perfect. And then we're going to go up to here. Which way do I want that belt to flow? Yeah, probably like that. You need to come up to there and grab a belt. And there we go. Okay, so there we go. That's the quick wire moving upstairs. Now I do need more quick wire for the manufacturers that along like that, but it just so happens, well, look at that. I've got a quick wire coming in right there underneath them, so perfect. What else do I need to do? So I need to go make sure we've piping up the rubber from all the way downstairs. So let's take a quick boo down into the train level and ride our lovely elevator. Here we go. Okay, and down to the... Yeah, I know, it seems a little silly when I got a hover pack that I'm using elevator, but I like the elevators. I just like riding the elevators. It's fun. Okay, so I need to bring rubber into here. Now, I'm pretty sure I have a rubber. So I just need to now get that upstairs. So it's plastic receiving and rubber receiving. Think I'm going to need to build a train here just to see where it's going. So let's do that. So let's get a transport. We're going to get a electric motor, electric locomotive. We're going to put a couple of trailers on here, or car flatbeds. There we go. Let's see, we got to give you a name. What button? That's Q. There we go. All right, so your name is the Western Desert Rubber Plastic Hauler. And let's see if I got enough letters plastic to put in the A. Yes, I do. Okay, so Western Desert Rubber Plastic Hauler. Excellent. We're going to edit your timetable. So we want the rubber plastic depot. So we're going to add that. Then we want our Western Desert Plastic Rubber Receiving. This is the importance of naming convention, so I know exactly what's going on. As you can see, I don't know what that is. Who the hell are you? No, seriously, who the hell are you? I don't know. It doesn't fall into my naming convention. I don't know who he is, but we're going to save our changes, and we're going to turn on our self-driving, and we are going to go get ourselves a load of plastic and rubber. All along the way, I'm going to probably jump out of this fella here once I'm sure that all the pathing and everything is working correctly. Aha. Why are you... What block are you reading off of? Oh, you are reading off of this one. Okay, that's fine. Just because they're so close together, and there's a train in the station there. See, there you go, that fixed up. Yeah, when the tracks get too close like that, even though they're not on the same line, they can have an area of effect. All right, make sure that that's working. Yep, we're still moving along. We're still taking the right turns. As in correct turns, not just literally it was a right turn there, but, you know. And we can ride the rail. Yeah, you can't go to photo mode when you're in the train anymore. That's interesting. I would like to. Oh, hide HUD. Oh, look at that. You can actually hide the HUD. All right, so that's our steel ingot line over there. That's still feeding away. It's always nice when you look up and you just see one of your trains, or your trains just doing their job. Big long hill here we got to climb out of. That is not okay. I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. Don't know when, don't know why, where, but I do know why, because nope, can't clip through. So I'm gonna have to just shift the track back a little bit, just so it's not clipped. The trains aren't clipping through. Awkward. Okay, so pathing does seem to work here, so we'll just continue riding the rail here. I'll bail out at the next roundabout, and we'll be at the factory, because I need to grab myself some more aluminum here as we kind of maneuver around the ground obstacles. I want to quickly grab the aluminum and try to catch this guy for the return trip, because I don't need him constantly running back and forth yet, but we'll try to hurry up here. We guess we can go through here, even though the aluminum is at the other end. Run through, run before he gets back. There we go. There's the LCAD sheets. We'll grab a couple of stacks of those. Anything I need to leave here while I'm here? No, I've pretty much got everything cleaned up. You know, I'm carrying a bit of extra what's-its and whatnots, but, you know, while I'm here, let's also grab one of these. Why are you not filling? Yeah, you are filling. Okay, just slowly. Okay, that's got those. Okay, we should be able to intercept our train here now. I'm going to fly down here. Just to see how he's making out. He shouldn't have passed me. Also getting a little concerned about power here. So as we kind of take a quick swing around this power hole here, yeah, you can see I've unpassed. So that's a bit of a problem. But I have a solution. All right, who are you? You are not who I want yet. You're doing your thing. Probably should color code these trains a little bit. All right, who are you? You carrying 2 cars or single car? Nope, you're... Yes, you can see that one's purple, so that tells me it's the Sam. There's the new boy. So that should be my Western Desert hauler. So we'll just pop in. Are you? Are you? Yes, you are. Okay, we can pop out and... Let's... Oh, no! Jet... No! Hover pack! Too slow! Need jetpack! Oh, come on! Change out the jetpack. Oh, you know what? I know how to pass him. Probably not. Come on, come on. Ah! Well, I'll intercept him further down. Yeah, I'm taking that Y junction out. That is, honestly, it's becoming more pain than help. Oh, now I want the hover pack back in. There we go. Okay, come on. Come here, buddy. Come here. I want to try and do some work while you're moving. There we go. Okay, can I walk across? Oh, that almost didn't work out well for me. Duck. All right, what are you carrying? You're carrying the plastic and you're carrying the rubber. Okay, so that means... is that the right blue? Sure, that looks like a good plastic blue. So we're going to paint you that color. And then we're going to go back into here and we are going to get a nice dark color and we're going to paint you black. And what you guys are then going to be, so I know that that is plastic, that is rubber. As we head back to the town or the tower. Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a nice, you know, I'm hoping to have a nice little skyline going up here. So each building here is going to be, you know, try and see it, keep it self-contained more or less. If I'm making stuff off-site, and I probably will be making stuff off-site, so I'm going to try to avoid a lot of the smelting that's going on here. I mean, he says as he brings in raw copper, raw deuterium, and raw quartz. But that's, you know, that one supply, and a lot of other ways. No, I don't know. We'll see. Because the one thing about smelting per building is that, you know, each building adds a lot of smelters. All right, let's get the hell out of the way of this thing here. We'll let it get docked up here. I'm going to go turn off the self-driving, and we're going to let everything dock up. Because now I know where the rubber flows, and right through here. Okay, perfect. Now I can build back to Mark 5 so we can get all of our speed and come up to right there. Just like that. Yes, and I know the sound suddenly stopped. That's because I'm looking for other things. One moment, please. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? I went to go do something totally. Literally, it's like walking into the kitchen going, why am I in the kitchen? All right, I want that. And then what I'm trying to bring up here is that. Okay. I don't know where that window is. Where's that window gotten to? There it is. Awesome. Okay. Hoi. Okay, so that's going to bring that up to there. So that is going to be a Zarabea. Now, the rubber needs to go all the way up to here because you need to feed into what? No. Why did I need the rubber? Why was I so hot and bothered to bring the rubber in? Oh, because I thought I was doing the computers next. I am not. I am doing the high-speed connectors yet, so I didn't need to do the rubber yet. Everything is ready for the high-speed connectors. I just have to tap the belts in. And, okay, so we have circuit boards popping out over here. So we need to gather up the circuit boards, and they are coming in here. So what I think I'm going to do is apparently miss the building. I don't want to take them necessarily downstairs. Do I want to just feed everything in from downstairs? What is going to look the neatest and the tidiest? Because I'm doing most of my splitting up here, which means I've got a lot of kind of noise going on in here, and I think I want to keep this one. Yeah. It's starting to feel a little crowded up here, and just for shits and giggles, I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. I mean, I have a subfloor for a reason, or a logistics floor for a reason. I should use it. So we'll get a bunch of those in here. Do not need anything more than probably a Mark II. And there we go. So we can start dropping circuit boards downstairs. And there we go. Okay, so circuit boards are going to go downstairs now. Which means everything is going to be feeding in from downstairs now. Why do I feel like the silicone is feeding fast enough that I should be able to? How many silicone? Oh, I need 140. 100. Yeah, it's a pretty even split. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do it underneath. However, the quick wire, I think, yeah. So I'm gonna do the quick wire up here. So how many the quick wires at a higher level? So yeah, there's no plan, as you can tell. What is... Why are you highlighted? What is going on here? Okay then. Are you done with your little... Wow. So apparently there are a few things, little kind of weird bugs going on in the game still. That was weird. It was still like I was trying to be active with them, and no. All right, so we need to bring in some lifts here, so no need to waste the silicon, or the, sorry, the aluminum, but we are going to go up by... And well, let's just drop down here so I can see what I'm doing. Gonna go boop, boop, like that. We are going to go boop, boop, dee, boop, right to there. So we're gonna keep these guys up on this floor all the way. And there we go. Okay. Make sure I haven't double tapped. Nope, everything looks good that way. Excellent. Don't need those guys in yet. Need a splitter. And again, because we have all the snaps that we could possibly want, or nudges, including a vertical nudge, which is definitely in the top 10 new features. And then we can nudge over here. Yeah, the whole new nudge. So the infinite nudge, the vertical nudge, all of that is just... Thank you. You made everything so much better. Come on, all the way down here, guys. No, you don't reach. You son of a gun. You don't actually reach all the way down there, do you? Okay, well, that's fine. You'll just have to kind of cheat things. So, well, again, infinite nudge. See, nudging just makes lining things up so much easier. So I can just now drop that into place. Now I'm starting to have a bad feeling that the belt... Nope, belt's good. Excellent. Okay, then we can run this other belt in through here. Gonna need a temporary... the reason I put that in... Nope, not that button. Stop. Don't hit that button. Don't hit that button. The reason I put that in there, even though I'm going to have to erase it, is because it allows me to snap that into place. It won't connect... Like, the splitter won't connect to the lift, but if I delete the lift, it'll automatically connect in there. Otherwise, I have to put a very tiny little bit of belt in there, and that is very easy to be forgotten and to make a giant mess. Now, you should not be doing that. So what you can see by the orange highlight is that it was... Why are you... Why? Oh, because this is not rotated correctly. Okay, so we're gonna have to fix that. That one is. Easiest peasiest. Let's just do this. Mark 4 belt. So yeah, I didn't have it turned. I didn't have that splitter that I popped down there the right way because for whatever reason it auto rotated, and it's been an ongoing. Yeah. So yeah, YouTube. It's interesting. So I monitor the stream, you know, and yet I still screw up all the time. But on a second computer, I actually have the stream playing, and it's maybe 5-10 seconds behind. Meanwhile, in the actual YouTube live streaming studio, it's about 15 minutes behind at this point in time. I don't know what's going on. YouTube, you just, yeah. You just. Okay, we need power. So let's just do that while I'm thinking of it. So we're gonna drop a power line there. We'll drop, yes, I am using power poles just because I like them. Right there. And right there. And then we connect to the machine. And connect to the machine. And connect to the machine. There we go. All right. And then we have a handy dandy right here. So I think therefore I am. What I'm going to do is do that, and then I am going to connect you to the power pole, just so you're a little bit tiniest bit. Why? Why are you highlighting again? I mean, seriously. Okay, so this was going to be for the quick wire. You are completely and utterly screwed up. I still haven't gotten this right. I will one of these days manage to get it correct. Is everyone pointing in the right direction? Let's try to get this right this time. Okay, everyone's still lined up. Yes. Nope. Sweet Murgatroyd. What is going on here? Good Lord. Have I played this game before? I'm seriously starting to doubt that. Are you guys lined up now? Pleases and thank yous? Yes, you are! How about that? Oy vey. The struggle is real. The struggle being core competency. No, do not snap into... I swear to God. The game's starting to troll me now. It's gotta be trolling me at this point. I've been playing this game since like version 1. I got videos on this from version update like 0.3. You'd never know that the way I've been playing. Oh, seriously. I swear to God, the game is starting to troll me at this point in time. Anyway, what am I here for? I'm here for Quickwire. So let's just do this. We'll do the same thing. Splitter's gonna come in from this direction, drop it down, slide you over, get down. You are down the right way. Nope, gotta come back up one. And you need to line up there. Yeah. Of course, that does mean I have to replace that lift, because splitters won't snap to lifts, but lifts will snap to splitters, because that seems fair. All right, let's go across to here, and then we can connect you guys up to there. Okay, so that is going to bring in whatever quick wire is needed for over here. It's a lot compared to, but it's not too big of a line. And if I preload the line, you know, we are kind of feeding, so we should be able to get away. Okay. Circuit boards, which I have dumped underneath, so let's go get that set up. So I need circuit boards and I need silica. So we need some floor holes here, so we'll put a floor hole there, and do the same for the other 3 machines. And that is not correct, so we'll do that again. There we go. Yeah, I twitched or jerk the trigger, squeeze the trigger, squeeze the trigger. All right, and in you go. In you go, and in you go. And just a few more. And away we go. All right, excellent. Okay. Circuit boards and silica. So we can again take the kind of shortcut here while we can. So we'll duck in through here. So those guys are all over here. So circuit boards will feed in from this side, and I'm going to come down by 2. Yeah. That's going to be 1. Come down by 2. 1. Really shouldn't be using Mark 5s. It seems like a waste of aluminum. I got more of those, so I'm going to convert all of you into Mark 4, Mark 4, Mark E4, Mark 4. Let's get all you guys converted, and then we can just carry on with the Mark 4s. There we go. All right. Quick wire still processing, still feeding up. Good, excellent. All right, so now circuit boards. Actually, yeah, the silica is gonna take the lower drop, I think. Yeah, because the silica's right here. Ooh, this actually gives me an excuse. to drop one of these guys in. Is that at the correct height? Not quite, but actually it is. No, it's not quite the right height. Let's get down on the ground so we can see the walking space. Yeah, that's not quite the right height, but that'll do. That will do. All right, now as far as the splitters and whatnot go, we're going to have a splitter coming in through here. Let's get you lined up and get you off the ground by your necessary 2. And we'll kind of nudge you into place, which means I probably will have to replace those guys to get everything to connect correctly, but I can utilize. And we'll go to default mode because it's tight enough. So we'll go like that. We'll take you and we'll throw you into there. I just need one more splitter, which will be right here. Like that. Make sure you're connected. We'll grab, and you can hear the little tick telling me that it's connected. Pardon me, sneeze. And then I had to take a sip of coffee to counteract the effects of the sneeze. All right, need to get a belt out to over here. So we'll just come out like this. Let's go into straight mode so I know when I am straight. And then we can just go up by 1 like that. And then that should just be able to connect, especially if I use default like that. All right, so that's got the silicon just because I can't quite push you up any further, but that's okay. So silicon is splitting and flowing quite nicely, which means all I need to do now is shuffle down some circuit boards. So again, we're just going to use a Mark II lift because there's not many circuit boards coming out of there. There we go. I can be clever here. Oh, hey, these guys snap to the ceiling now. Cool. When did you guys start doing that? All right, I'm not gonna. There's so many nice little kind of weird, wonderful little updates that they did in the last little bit. You know, no matter how much you want to nitpick, they've done a lot, and that's one of my big kind of things with, there's 2 developers that I have mad respect for, or appreciation, or whatever you want to use, is Coffee Stain, makers of Satisfactory and Goat Simulator, and Keen Software House. And the reason I kind of have a fondness for these 2 organizations is because they really do involve. Why are you not? Oh, because I did them all wrong. Is that they really do give us what the community wants. Like just the simple little things, like the simple little quality of life improvements, like having our splitters without any fanfare, just attaching to ceilings. That is quite lovely. But funny thing is most of the improvements that they put into their game, and this goes for both Keen and for Coffee Stain, is literally they take mods. They look at what the most popular mods are. They have great mod support. Like, they don't, you know, hide from them. They don't get upset when people mod the game. They just let people do it. And it really, yeah, they try not to break it. They are apologetic when they do their updates. Mergers, not splitters, mergers. This is the thing, you know, one of the kind of, what is the word I'm looking for? Let's say drawbacks of live streaming when it comes to actually playing the game is that talking about what you're doing and doing what you're doing is multitasking. And there's one thing about the human brain that it doesn't do. And if anyone tells you that they're great at it, they're lying. They're deluding themselves. The human brain cannot multitask. The human brain is incapable. It can do one thing and one thing at a time, only in the conscious thought. I mean, there's a lot of kind of automatic stuff running in the background. But when you're using that kind of cognitive function, where did that go? I'm not sure where that lift went. Is that we can't do two things at once. That's why things like texting and driving are so very, very, very stupidly bad. We can do microtasking, we can do very quick switching, and some people are their brains are plastic enough that they can kind of very rapidly switch between tasks without losing track, but they can only do one thing at a time. We cannot split our concentration. And this is a prime example, is that the act of describing what I'm doing is using a different part of my brain that instead of just kind of using more muscle memory to drop things like belts and lifts and paying attention to what the hell I'm doing, I have to use more of a conscious brain, and that's where weird shit happens at that point in time. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. They're going to go like so. Again, just discovering that I can snap these guys to the ceiling. Oh, my goodness. And that's going to flow like that. You are going to go into there as well. And then you are fine just the way you are. I love you just the way you are. And yep, okay, that's the correct one. Let's get our belts underneath. Not that button. Not the mama. Anyone remember that show from the 90s? Dinosaurs? Freaking great show, man. Henson, giant animatronic, Jim Henson, Muppety type dinosaurs. It's like a cross between the Flintstones and the Honeymooners. Like a precursor almost to Family Guy. Like, yeah, great show. And the little cutest little dinosaur baby who every time he saw his dad would scream, "Not the mama." And one of the more kind of, especially for, a silly dinosaur-centered sitcom, kind of a deep ending too, is basically, yeah, the asteroid that was wiped them out. They had newscasters, so it was, like the Flintstones, where they had all the technology, it was all dinosaur-based technology and, rock-based technology and stuff like that. So the, designs were very Flintstonian. But of course that means they had a news reporter who was frequently in there, because it was one of those things that helps kind of set up plot points. That's the whole point of having news reporters in your story, so you can kind of get exposition without doing straight up exposition meaning, this is what's happening, audience, let me tell you all about it, as opposed to showing you. It's the old show don't tell should be the adage. But however, having newscasts is a great way of kind of pushing plot points. And one of the plot points was the asteroid that's coming to wipe them out. And they literally ended on with the news reporter saying, yep, this is pretty much it. This is me signing off for the last time. Goodbye. Good luck. Very poignant. It's, again, like I say, especially for a show like that. All right. I think that's got all these guys going. I'm gonna... What am I doing next? What am I doing next? What am I doing next? Who the hell knows what I'm doing next? What am I doing next? I don't know. Let's go up. Let's call up the old elevator here. Don't worry about the sparks. What those sparks are is my hover pack recharging off that power tap right there. And there's my elevator. All right, we're gonna go up another floor. It is very dark out here. Wow, it is bitchingly dark out here. Well, we're gonna have to get another floor up there. So let's get up here and let's put in one more of these. All right, so we're gonna go samply, and there we go. So we can bring one of these guys in. Honestly, it doesn't matter where it snaps to because I'm just gonna use the nudge anywhere, anyway, anyhow, anywho, what? And that should go down to there. Let's come out one more like that. Yeah, that is the correct floor. That is the correct floor. Probably should turn my flashlight on. Where's the dividing line? How are we doing over here? We got too much overhang, so we got to come back this way. Of course, you're running into something that you shouldn't be, but that's fortunate because I can go like that. And there we go. Okay, what do you know? Elevator shaft is in the way, so we are going to have to... Oh, do not delete the entire elevator, please. No, I don't want to dismantle the entire elevator. You're going to make me dismantle the entire elevator, aren't you? No, I refuse. Instead, what I'm going to do here is I'll manually put this floor back in. Okay, good to know. Elevator shaft. Blockage. Do not permit me to do that. It becomes a non-buildable. Oh, all right. Fine. Have it your way. We'll do it this way. Seems so primitive. All right, and there we go. And come back this way. Does leave me the problem. I'm gonna have to manually put in my lights, but that's all right. We can cope. And of course, I'm gonna have to unplug the elevator staircase. There we go. And theoretically, this should be the top floor. Yeah. Let me get the elevator floor back in. Door pointing that way. And likewise, door pointing that way. Let's open up the stairwell. There we go. And let's put in our stairs. There we go. And then we come up to this one. Like that. Like that. Then we had... What do we got going on down here then? I've forgotten how I've done things. Okay, let me drop down here. Okay, and then, yeah, so you're all walled in. Perfect. Yeah! Back upstairs, please. Go on. Get up there. Okay, so we're gonna put a door. So let's get our proper menu. So we'll put a door here. And then we can just wall all of this off. And up from there, we're gonna go up from there. Head across, head across. Thank you. And we're also gonna block you off, and we're gonna block you guys off. There we go. Okay, so, you know, we just go up and through. Okay, so that's the service floor. Gonna need to put some lights down here, so we're gonna have to, again, just do it manually. We'll just put one there and drop down to the floor here so I have a better view of what I'm doing. Drop one there. Drop one there. One there. Come on, stop rotating like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. I'm gonna run into the staircase here because I want to put a light right there. And one right here. And there's one there already. Excellent. Okay, good. Staircase is lit. We can return to this floor here. And I think we're ready to start putting in the last of our machines. Yep. I'll come up with these guys here, like that. Okay, so here's the plan I'm trying to get. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can squeeze my last of my machines in this little area, because I'd like to leave this open and flat, because what I want to put here, if I can have the room, and I may have to do a little bit of an overhang, is drone ports. But I can't do them right away, obviously, because I don't have the radio control units. I mean, I could go drop down there and build some. But yeah, I want to put a drone up here. That is going to do the delivering. Just because I'm only literally making 3.75 supercomputers a minute, which means I don't need to use it seems wasteful to use a full train or even setting up a truck line. That's where drones are really good for. Drones are really good for when you just got to move a small amount of things, because, you know, you drop down a drone tower. Yeah, you have to make sure you got fueling and stuff like that going on, which is not really a big problem, which also leads to why I'm kind of ignoring my power at the moment, is because I think once I get the radio control units, or maybe even next, I don't know, it may even happen today, we'll see what happens when I get the supercomputers, is I may want to, I'm going to run a line, which I've always intended to do off to the oil fields that are over there. So if we do a quick ping here, for that fact, if we look at our map, no, I'm actually not within range. That's okay. Can I have the return ping now? Try that again. Crude oil. There it is. They finally showed up. Yes, as we have several crews down here. So what I want to do here is I want to basically capture packaged fuel, as well as set up another kind of the power plant. So I'm going to put some more power plants down there. That should be the end of the power plants, or all the power plants that I'm going to need, because at that point I'm hopefully going to be switching over to nuclear. But I should be able to get quite a bit of power out of that. As far as any other oil exploration, is that there are kind of pressure wells in various locations, and there's also the Crater Lakes area over here, which also has a bunch of oil wells. All right. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going, and what the restrictions, or the kind of target that I'm aiming for here. So again, why are you lighting up, you stupid train cars? So we'll get those guys up. Okay, so what do I need? I need 4 for the computers and 2 for the supercomputers. And I know I can definitely fit 4 along here, potentially even 5. So we're going to grab our manufacturers, and we're going to set these guys up, and we'll face them. Let's face them this direction. Let's not be overly sloppy here. I'm going to need to wall some of this stuff in a moment. But we'll drop one manufacturer there. Let's see how many I can get, if I can get the 4 across. 2, 3, and 4. And then can I get the 2? Where's the walls gonna be? So we're gonna have that open. We're gonna have walls coming up here. Like this. Yeah, like that. Like that. And then all the way up, please. All the way up. You need to be a door. Sorry, my apologies. You go to be a door. I'm going to leave this wall open for now. Yes, because that might end up coming out into an outdoor courtyard. Gonna need something there. You know what? No, let's just do it this way. We'll put the doors and the walls and the stuff in. I think that needs to be over here. How did I do it down here? Let me just kind of take a quick peek. Yep, so there we go. So we have door, and then we got a window. So we are going to grab one of these, except I'm going to put one of those in place. Gonna grab a window. That is not a window. I don't know what delusion. I thought that might be a window. All right. Go down there, and there we go. And there we go. Let me grab one of these, and that should be all at the right height. No, it's not. Why are you not at the right height? Didn't mean to hit that button. All right, let's make sure the wall's at the right height by doing it this way. There we go. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, and then we have a little kind of access window, and I think that's the way I've been doing it. I am using the incorrect window. Right group, wrong window. We want... Oh, there's actually 2 windows there. So we got one that's 1, 2. Okay. So we're going to come up like that. That should be 2 spaces. Yes. Yes. And then up here. Oh my God. Big fat fingers keep hitting wrong button, annoying the hell out of everyone. Okay, let's move those guys up. Get rid of those. Put one of those in. Grab a wall. There, close enough. Okay, and then we can now elevator shaft, I think, right for now. The elevator doesn't need to go any higher, but what I'm going to do here is just wall these guys, finish walling all of this off. And why am I messing with this nonsense right now? Because it's kind of how I determine how much space I have to work with to get the last 2 machines in. So that is why I'm kind of messing with this right at this point. And then we can go down to there. Okay. That and it's all, I'm also bringing power up. Okay, so there we go. So we got 4 of these guys, which are doing Which computers? They're doing the Caterium computer. Yes, yes. Excellent. So we can copy that and paste, paste, and paste, and it's a straight 40. I'm gonna need to bring the circuit boards from downstairs to the upstairs, which means, yeah, we'll come through the access shaft over here. So we'll have to do another little split. There should be a way. Yeah, so what I can do here is, how many do you need? You need the majority of them. Okay, so we'll take a split off of here, work it this way, and then we can go upstairs. Okay, that's easy for the circuit boards. I need quick wire to also continue its journey upstairs. Where's my quick wire? The quick wire is, I believe, right there. I need to actually, let's go up a floor. And let's just run up to this floor here. I need to see where I'm doing with my quick wire. I've forgotten already. Yes, I've forgotten already. The memory of a goldfish. Are you doing quick wire? Yeah, you're getting quick wire, so you're feeding the quick wire from here. All right, I think I'm going to need to send the... yeah, I'm going to need to get some trains moving here. So let's take a quick run down to the train level. Oh, elevator's here already. And let's go down a floor, or to the bottom floor, and out to the train stations. Why? We'll take this one down to the next floor. Reason, of course, I didn't extend the elevator all the way down is that it would run smack dab into the trains. So we had to put in a second lift. There we go. All right. First things first. Let's send you off on your merry little way. And let's... I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking delete you. Pardon my French, but... yeah. This is ridiculous. Why do you keep lighting up? Will that clear this stupid highlighting bug? If not, I'm just gonna restart the game and be done with it. Okay, so what else do I need up there? So let's, while I'm waiting for that to come back, because I want to get a Lota Caterium, let's grab our lift and drop down to the floor here. Let's go up to the next floor. There we go, and over to here. And I think I want to go to that floor. I am gonna have to label these guys at some point. It's a bit of a pain, like, yeah. Okay, this is where I did want to come through. So, circuit boards need to go up, quick wire needs to go up, and rubber needs to come all the way up now. Ironically, I should have stayed down on the train level, but that's all right. So, yeah, rubber's going to come up to this floor here. Yeah, I know, I just didn't use the elevator. I'm going to just kind of move along. Have you finally started highlighting then? All right. Okay, so you're coming up to there. That's what you are doing. Eventually, there will be more floors. So if we grab one of these, we will be continuing our floors off that way. It's just whether or not I leave. Do I do it this one of these right away? Yes, it just all depends on how much space. And I think I'm going to leave a nice big wide avenue between. Then when I grab one of these, that will be where the next block or the next tower will go. And look at that, I'm actually starting to run out of... I ran out of power is what I ran out of. But I'm also running out of concrete. Come on. Reload me. I don't know why I'm waiting for it to reload me. It doesn't matter. All I wanted to do was mark the floor so I can get to the lift. Foundation Street by 5-2. Excellent. Okay, so that's coming up there, so I can just retroactively should be able to put in a floor hole here. Floor hole. There we go. And come on, squeeze her in. Get in there. Come on. There you go. That looks correct. Okay, so that's the rubber. That needs to then run over to here, because I need a giant long belt that goes all the way up to here, and I'm going to do it by putting in a ceiling mount right here. Yeah, we'll go right to the edge of the concrete, then we'll drop all the way down to here. Yep, there you are. And we're going to do the same thing here. I think that is correct. Nope, got to come over by one, so we'll just go nudgy. That's not going to interfere with anything else, is it? Nope. And there we go. Because now I can grab myself a Mark V lift and reach for the sky. Now you see how that lift doesn't quite go all the way up? All I need to do is rotate it like that, and then look at... Ooh, no, you're not reaching. Why aren't you reaching? No, why? Why would you do this to me? Why have you forsaken me? Okay, time to... a little bit of cheaty here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a foundation. I'm going to pop you right there. Going to grab that floor hole again. Now the nice thing about floor holes are, if I can get you to... Let's get you to snap onto there. Come on. You know, I should have... By the time I get it, I could have just dropped all the way down here to have a much easier time of aiming. He says, much easier time of aiming. No, apparently not. Okay, so again, lift stops here. Look up to there. It will go all the way up to there. Like that. I can then get rid of the foundation. I'll have this weird little collar here, but... I can get you guys to go all the way up. Now, you just didn't snap into place, but that's fine. I wonder actually if you'd have worked if I had a belt here, because you weren't looking like you wanted to snap there. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to leave the floor hole there, just in case this doesn't work, but let's see what happens if I have a belt there now. So again, we'll connect to that. And then, come on, all the way up. Yeah, see, it still doesn't reach. Okay, that's fine. The fact that they allow us, instead of having to put belts back to back, and this is kind of the quick and easiest and dirtiest way of, if you do need to do a lift extension, you know, just drop yourself in a temporary guide foundation, put a floor hole in there. That'll let you make basically the bottom one as long as you want. And then you just have to tie them together. Yes, you get this kind of, you know, collar sitting there, but quite frankly, I don't mind it. It adds a little extra bit of visual detailing in there, so it's all good. Okay, I'm just going to grab a little bit more light for over here. Just because it's a little bit dim. There we go. And there we go. Just also because I hate using the flashlight. Okay, so this is going to be the rubber coming up. Where are you going, Mr. Rubber? You need to go the other direction. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to wrap you around the corner here. Okay, so let's get the rubber. Let's get the rubber flowing. I was going to make a joke there. Realized that nope, that is not actually a joke. That is just stupid what you're about to say. So please don't. So we are going to put that there. I am going to also need to bring the plastic up to this floor, so I should probably go deal with that now because the plastic is going to be needed for the supercomputers. But in the meantime, do not need to spend that on that. We can get away with the Mark 3s or the Mark 2s. Yeah, so it's 90, 45. It's like 17 and a half per. If we look in here, yeah, rubber 22 and a half. I don't know where the 7, yeah, good math, man. All right, so the rubber is coming up here. We need to bring the plastic up here. Plastic can come out. Can bring the plastic. Yeah, I think I should be able to get away with this. So if I grab the floor or the ceiling mount, we'll just line you up right here. Again, I'm going to have to use the damn flashlight. We hit H. I should. Yes, look at that. I can move you back like so. Excellent. So what that means is then it'll kind of just scooch on the outside of this. We come all the way up to here. I'm going to grab myself, again, a temporary foundation. Grab a floor hole from there. A floor hole, which will go right to there. And then we can grab a lift. I understand that it's just kind of floating there, but don't worry, I'll cover that. And then, oh, are you not lined up? You aren't quite lined up, so we'll need to come back by one. That's fine. Zoom. All right, will you snap in there? Yes, thank you. That is lovely. Come on, up we go. There we go. And I'm gonna point you in that direction because the supercomputers will be along here. All right, so that is got the rubber coming up. Circuit boards need to, let's finish off with the rubber first. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just get this rubber done. So the rubber, let's have you guys come around the back side, I'm thinking. Use Mark 3s. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's put you just to make sure. Yeah, nope, that is not going to work. It's too close to the wall, so that's why I did that quick test there. We have to turn you guys around. Again, Mark 3. So one's going to come that way. You are going to go that way. We can then grab our Mark. How much rubber am I moving? I'm only moving 90 rubber. So Mark 3 will be more than sufficient. We're using the old straight functionality. That's the sharpest I can go, so we're going to go all the way down here. Can't carry past a little bit, so we'll have to drop right there. And we can carry past a little bit, just to make sure that I got enough space for a splitter. And then we could take our belt all the way over to here. If it would reach, which it does not. Conveyor. Oh, need to relax it just a little bit. There we go. Okay, and hook you into there, and let's just convert you over. There we go. So that would bring our... Where's the rubber? I haven't connected it underneath yet. That's where the rubber is. Let's do that. Let's just take a quick fall down the shaft here. Whee! Wow. Managed to stop myself and landed that at the exact same time. Okay. Mark III belts. Thank you. You're not going to reach, so we'll have you turn here. I should probably redirect that a little bit. Let's actually come off of this. We'll keep it tight in there. And we'll come down to here. And then we'll zigzag you in. All right, why is the rubber not coming in from underneath, though? Why? You're full of rubber. Why are you not docking? What the hell is wrong with you, man? This train is very, very broken. Why is this train so very, very broken? You know what? I'm going to save the game. Gonna exit to main menu. And see what the hell is going on here with this. So we can continue game. Fortunately, again, you can ignore that. That's just because there used to be a mod running. I used to be running the wall hole mod. Don't need to anymore in 1.1 because 1.1 is awesome. Thank you very much, Coffee Stain. All right, are you going to freaking work now? Not at all. Why? Why? Oh, I'm gonna have to. Yep, I'm gonna have to. I got no help for it. Somehow those two things. And see, it didn't even leave a loot crate. Full of plastic, full of rubber, didn't even leave a loot crate. Huh. That is broken in some manner. Okay, well, let's rebuild this thing here. Do it all again. Let's paint stuff early. So you are plastic. You are going to be the rubber. And you know what? I might as well paint you the plastic color here. There we go. Okay, let's set you up. I'm going to rename you again. So you're the Western Desert rubber plastic hauler. Our timetable is home rubber. Nope, that's rubber plastic depot. And then we're going to come all the way down to here, and we're going to drop you there, save the changes, turn on self-driving, and get the hell out of the train. Hopefully that works. Okay. It was also, you are definitely been sent on your merry little way. You haven't yeah, see, there's all my, there's all the plastic. So at least I got some of the plastic back. So we can throw the plastic in there, but it looks like the rubber is gone for good. Unless there's a loot crate hiding under here somewhere. Which I don't think there is. Let's have a look here. Loot crates. So yeah, should be able to see them here. Vehicles, train stations, truck stations, dismantle crates. Is there a dismantle crate underneath me? Yes, there is. Yeah, of course there is. It's probably right underneath this track segment. Except you weren't. There. What are you waiting for? And there you are. Okay, so make sure you're unloading. Let's make sure. Oh, I'm an idiot. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that train. Not one bit of it. I didn't set the stations correctly because stupidity and other such reasons. Oopsies. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that ever happened. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna fix all our belts and stuff. Hey, look! Nothing ever happened. You should be unloading now, full load of everything. So be seeing my copper, and there you go. So everything's going up. There goes the quartz. There goes the copper. And which one are you? You're the copper. You're the caterium. Yes? Yes. All right, that has got those guys flowing and moving. Let's get the plastic while I'm down here. You can grab the plastic and throw you to there temporarily until I can get your floor hole in. So we'll get our floor hole in. We'll grab our belt here again, or sorry, our lifts. We'll make sure we're only using, how much plastic am I? 105, so a Mark III lift will do. Throw you into, so you connect there, and then I can head back upstairs and get the plastic flowing. That, and 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 yay! All right, will you make it? Will you stretch the entire way? Of course not. Of course you're gonna fall just short. Why would you do anything else, you silly bastard? All right, there we go. Okay, so plastic is nice and clean too, in a straight line. Perfect. So plastic, go upstairs now. We can join our regular scheduled program. Don't need the plastic just yet. I will need it soon, though. Okay, so finishing off our rubber line here. I'm just going to make my life easy, put in some temporary lifts. Doesn't really matter. I will be deleting them almost immediately, but I want to use them for the snapping, like so, on the splitter. The snapping like so, and the snapping like so. That way now I can come back here, get rid of these three, sample you, and reconnect. And you hear that little tink, that means they are connected. Okay, just need for my train to come back. How you doing out there, guys? Let's have a look at the map here, see if I can't figure out where he's gotten to. I mean, he's coming from a pretty far distance here. Well, actually, yeah, pretty spread out. Yeah, there he is. Not you. Who are you? Are you? Yeah, you're going in there. Why are you just named Train? Wow, he's just getting there. Oh, no. That's the copper and whatnot hauler. I'm looking for my rubber fella. Oh, there he is. Ah, perfect. He's heading down the hill. And why? Why are you lit up again? What is going on with you? Holy effing Gma. No! Bad. Bad train. Okay. Okay, may have been my own dumbassery on having my stations not set up correctly, but let's get back to the main menu here. I'm gonna do it again. I don't know what is going on with that train, why he is staying highlighted like that, but that is just no. Don't make me go back to experimental. I will. Yeah. Don't. Did that fix you? Yes, it fixed you, at least so far. So there we go. No more stupid highlight. Okay. What are you? You're rubber coming upstairs. I need to now get circuit boards to feed into you. What else did you need? You need circuit boards, quick wire, and the rubber. So we're getting the rubber from there. Where's my quick wire going to come in from? Where do I want to bring the quick wire in from? So there's the quick wire flowing there. I do technically think I have an idea. Down a couple more floors. What I'm thinking here is I could just split. Will that clip into this machine? Yeah, it will. But if I do something like this, so I'll start with a ceiling. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with a ceiling hole. Let's say right about there. That should be the right distance. That should be far enough over. Let's come over by one more just to make sure. Oh, no. Gotta go over this way. No, actually, no. No, I want you to start grabbing your quick wires sooner than later. So I'm going to have you grab right here. Gonna grab a temporary lift at the correct height. Gonna kind of see that you are slightly out of place, so I'm gonna come back by one more. But before I delete all of this, we can grab then our splitter. Again, we can get our snap. Then I can get rid of these two guys here. How much quick wire am I setting up? I'm setting up 210, so I'm gonna use a Mark IV, and that should snap into place, and now I can pull a bunch off there. Okay, so that's gonna be the quick wire that's gonna go up to the computers. Why are you? You're not getting enough copper sheet. Why are you guys? Oh, because production's been shut down for a while. Which means everything has to reload. So, yep, we can go take a look at the production. Yeah, so you can see copper sheets are slowly starting to fill in. But that's fine. Okay. Down we go. Turn the flashlight off yet again. And where am I going? I am going up to the service floor here. So your quick wire, circuit boards are over here. Okay. So we are not gonna fall. So I think therefore I am. I think what I'm gonna do here is let's grab a ceiling mount. And yeah, I know I just turned the stupid flashlight off and now I'm turning it back on again. There we go. We're gonna put one of those there. We're gonna grab ourselves how many circuit boards? It's Mark II will be more than fine. We'll drop down to here. So that is that height. And then we go 1, 2. Yep, that is correct. I'm gonna grab me belt and just use a Mark II belt. We'll run you over to here, get you nice and close. So this is my circuit board line right there. Make sure you're on straight. So we're gonna go to there. We'll nudge you up. No, we won't nudge you up. We don't need to nudge you up. We'll lift you up though. To there, and then I'll nudge you back a little bit. Gonna need some room. Hopefully that'll be enough. Let's go right there. And so what I'm planning is then I can drop a splitter right there, grab a lift, and if I did it right, yeah, see, I didn't do it right. I did need to be back here. Let's just actually use one of these proper conveyor lifts. That way my heights and stuff will be all correct. Grab our Mark II belt again, connect. No, I missed. I have a plan, really. I do indeed have a purpose for doing all this. Because I'm hoping I can now squeeze the lift into a very compressed format. Just like that. So now I can have my bunch of circuit boards heading off this way. Yeah. All right, so I'm kind of, one of the things, I am using overflow method here. Or manifold method. What I'm not using is a balance, so you can see there. Now we're going to start getting some more copper sheets going that way because these guys are starting to jam up. So those machines have now been properly fed, so we're not having to split the this amount off there. So more can then flow into that system, and hopefully that'll balance it out. Yeah, you can start seeing that our circuit boards are coming through a little bit more frequently. Let's make sure we're splitting. Why did you not split? Probably because you're not actually connected. Yeah, you're probably not connected. Hello? You're not a... No, I put a smart splitter in. That was stupid of me. You know what? Screw it. I've already spent the resources. There we go. Okay, circuit boards are moving. Copper sheet is moving. Quick wire is going up right there, so I can see that that is happening. Rubber is right there, so that almost feels like it should be not it. All right, quick wires right here. Okay. Circuit boards are right there waiting. So now I have to just figure out how I'm going to get all these guys tied together, which I'm going to do something I'm not a big fan of doing, but yeah, it'll work. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, let's again get our floor hole, just because it's getting a little tight down here. I mean, I could bring the quick wire up, or the circuit boards up. Like, I could bring these circuit boards all the way up through here, come out the wall, but no. No, I'd rather keep these floors as clean as possible. So what I'm going to do instead is grab a wall floor hole. We're going to pop you into place. 2 more for each. Like that, and like that. Yeah. Chaw. Okay, then we can grab our lifts, get you in reversed. So we're gonna do circuit boards on the next one. I've missed one of you. Let's make sure we get everybody included. There we go. All right, so yeah, I didn't really have enough room to have it flow in from this direction. If I do it in kind of my normal, more open, separate splitter, it is a very tight fit here. Fortunately, I can do it this way. Why are you flowing in that direction? Let's something weird here. Oh, okay. I'm hooking into the wrong one. There we go. Mark II. Yes, Mark II. So we're going to go like that. I think I got all of these wrong. Of course I did. Why would anything else be the case? Silly, silly bunt. There we go. There we go. Like that. And like that. Okay. Shift my ass from falling asleep here. So now I can take my splitter. That's getting a little bit in the way, but I will overcome that in a moment. As long as... What direction am I going to flow? I'm actually going to come at it from this side. How do I want to do this, man? Now I'm starting to think here. I'm going to save that for the quick wire. I'm going to do the quick wire for with this. Okay. Okay. Nope. Got a plan. Back into action here. So splitter going in that direction. No, because then it runs into that, so that's not ideal. However, can I do some nudging shenanigans here? Yes. Will that still work? Yes. And will the belt miss? Yes. Okay. So a little bit of shenanigans, but not horrible. Need to get these guys out of here now. Sorry. And then I'm going to have to include you. You're going to have to get a splitter as opposed to the normal way where I just kind of tie you off, because you just won't make the corner, and because I'm right up against the edge of the building here. All right. That means you fall within the power of the pillar. And now I got, and then, and there we go. And then, okay. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do, pig. And there. Okay. So now, yeah, I had the reassuring think. Reassuring think. Wrong one. Reassuring think. And you're already tied in, so we can grab belts now. Again, how many quick wire am I moving here? I'm moving quite a few quick wire, so I'm going to use a Mark III. Yes. And you shall be. That is good. That is good. That is good. All right. So now that means we can take, I'll just use a Mark V here to get it out of the way fast enough, but we'll go down to a Mark III again. And that means I can now tie you into that, and you are loading my quick wire. Oh. Okay, so all I have left to bring upstairs now is my circuit boards. As I take a little bit of a stretch here. Okay, so now we just need to bring the circuit boards up. Getting pretty close to the end of here, guys. Got almost all of it going. Just need to get circuit boards moving into my Criterion computers, and they're right here. I am going to have to drop you down just a little bit. You, unfortunately, are just not that far up. Okay, so that's the circuit board. Yep, that's the circuit board. Caught myself. Okay, we'll just grab a Mark IV lift here. We're going to come down to the bottom rung. Make sure you're facing the right direction, and look at that. You already snapped into place, and up go. Up go. No up go? Why no up go? Can I have my up go, please? Let's try this again. Reconnect the belt. Let the two little pathetic little circuit boards come along. Actually, it's loading quite big. And there they go. Okay, so now up go. So now with that up go, now I can take these guys here, and I'll just use Mark II, drop down by 2, drop down by 2. Very likely these guys are gonna get nerfed out. Hello, floor hold. I need to put one more in, which also means I'm going to need to move my quick wire line, because that, I think, is gotten in my way. I'm going to convert these all into Mark IIIs. What is that weird thing that it keeps doing? Okay. So that one's fine, that one's fine, that one's fine. That is a problem, so we're going to have to get rid of that temporarily. And gonna need to just bring you out a scooch. There we go. It's almost like weaving a little bit. You know, baskets, wicker. But there we go. Okay. So that means I need to now get you guys all set up for your circuit boards. Mark III. Yeah, you can't reverse anyway. Mark II, Mark III. Let's grab ourselves a splitter. And move you over and lift you up. I love the nudge up. So much nicer. Mark III belt, which we can throw all the way back here. I'll have to come into default mode to be able to do that corner. Likewise with that one. You're not going to snap if I do anything. Yeah, so you can see how I don't get my guideline there. That's why I'll put in a temporary lift, so that now I get my guideline. Let's make sure we just drop to the floor. Then I can grab these two lifts here. Connect you there. Connect you there. And then all I need to do now is run a belt across to there. Make sure we're in straight mode, not curve, straight. There we go. And there we go. That is circuit boards moving over. Still have to bring power upstairs, or at least get the power connected, but that is not a problem. We'll come back and do that in a second. But first, I need to take a quick bio break. And we'll get right back to it. So I'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so need some power here. Power is actually quite easy. I'm going to do it the same way I did it on the other side, or the lower floor here. We're going to go and grab our wall connectors. Just aesthetically speaking, which one do I like more? I'll just use this number 2 for the consistency. That goes to there. Grab a power line, throw that into there. Rip around the corner here. Now, gonna need to change this into a regular wall mount because I don't need it punching through here. We're gonna wrap it around the corner. So we're gonna have a nice clean corner there. Really hate it when things, you know, I don't mind clipping. I use clipping all the time. Hell, most of my windows involve clipping, but not when it's just something like a wire passing through the wall. So that's why I like to, so if I just kind of went straight to there, you can see how that wire just goes through the wall. Likewise, you know, that's nice and clean, but if I went to over here, wire would go through the wall. So what I do in my corners, I just like to have a nice little kind of wrap around here. That, it just gives me some extra connection points for power lines. All right, enough of that. Power pole, you go there. Power pole, you go there. Make sure, yep, you're all on the line. Power pole, yes, I'm using power pole, not ceiling mounting, not using beams. Honestly, I find that that looks less neat and tidy. I actually, in my eye, find that using these little power poles like this is actually more neat and tidy than having, you know, power lines reaching up to the ceiling. This is just straightforward, clickety clickety, boomity boomity. Grab over here, so I can then throw you to there and then connect to there. Why didn't I just go from there to there? Because it would be on a weird angle. That's why. So if you can see it's on a freaking angle. I don't like having those angles. I like to keep things nice and neat. And computers are being made. Yay! All right, so let's. I'm gonna have a quick. Sorry, but no, not that. That's. All right, so that should be making 15 computers now, which are going to eventually end up in the supercomputers, which now I need to fit in here. So I did want to put a drone port in here. I'm gonna go drop down here to the workshop area. So, you know, I've got my blueprinters and whatnot set up there. And I'm gonna see if I can make, oh shit, while I'm here, I got a bunch of hard drives that still need to be scanned. Let's get to radio control units. Radio control unit. All right, how many do I need for a drone port? Transportation. Let's get that in there. So I just need 10 radio control units. Good, I've got enough stuff on me. It's not necessarily going to be its, you know, final position up there. It's just going to be kind of a placeholder for the amount of space that I need. The other question is do I need 2 up there? Because, you know, 1 for fuel, 1 for not fuel. I think I'm just gonna have them fuel. Either I'll bring the fuel up through the conveyor system. So maybe I'll bring a yeah, that's actually what I'll do, is I'll bring a train. Yeah, okay, got a plan. Oh, that's enough of those. So I need to bring packaged fuel over for feeding the drones, and I probably will have multiple drone stations set up. So I mean, this is going to be just supercomputers. My next one is my radio control units. My radio control units, I'm only going to be producing like 7.5 of them. So I mean, they're going to have a drone in their own little building up there. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up packaged fuel. Because I'm already doing package fuel as part of my power setup, right? So I'll split some of that off, which will then become power for the world's drones. that's another thing that they've changed in the game is that drones used to be battery power only, which is a huge pain in the neck to make batteries, because now you're dealing with sulfur, sulfuric acid and the aluminum cake, blah, 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 blah. They should be able to run on any fuel right now. I mean, hell, I could load leaves into them. And they should still function. But in this case, I'm going to use packaged fuel because it gives me 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to go over there anyway for the power. I could go back to the lake way over there. I actually still have some more space that I can use. Problem is, it's getting a little hard to fit in the large kind of power plant section. Here I have a wide open flat space, so it is actually a little close. All right. So I'm thinking you fit quite nicely here, don't you? Where's the ladder and stuff? So the ladder for getting up is all right there, so that's all the walking space. So if I put you there, you will be then the depot for supercomputers. And just to make sure, no power, drone status, last fuel type. No idea. It is a little bit, oh, that's different. No, you're not Arlanda. Let's call you Western Desert. Oop, I got cap locks turned on, pardon me. Let me correct that. Western Desert Super Comp. Depot. Is that how you spell depot? That's debut. The hell's depot? Depot. I blanked on how to spell depot. What the hell? Depot? Okay, there we go. That's a... Don't get old, folks. It sucks. Brain dead. Okay, so look at that convenient little power connection right there. Boom, we can do that. Okay, so you're powered, you don't have any fuel, but you can burn off any kind of fuel. Not really sure. Yeah, not sure how the rest of it flows, but we're going to work with that. So that tells me that now I have this space to play with. Okay, so how tight can I get these manufacturers? I can get them actually pretty freaking tight. Yeah, they'll actually fit over here quite comfortably, won't they? Yeah, yes they will. Yay. They stick out the wall a little bit. But you know what? Yeah, okay. Not perfect. Okay, so that lines up with that guy there now. Let's get you out of here. Just gonna do a quick reprogram on you from that to the supercomputer. Supercomputer! Watch me get a whole completely different recipe that just completely changes everything. Too freaking late. All right, that means you should line up there. No. Let's try this again. There we go. Oh, that's why I was... Okay, so we're going to just hold you there for a quick sec. Let's come back this way. Okay, matching line, like so. And I should have enough space here, and I think I'm going to move the computers to underneath and then bring them back up just because it is a bit of a tight spacing. But supercomputers, AI limiters, high-speed connectors, and plastic. So that is a lot of stuff that needs to get dumped into these guys. And then for my walls... I actually, I'm gonna move you out of here for a quick sec. I'm gonna just think about my walls situation here a little bit. So we're gonna put a window or a door there. Let's grab these guys. Run you up to there. And then run you across like so. Grab you. What is this one? Let's mimic the pattern over here as well. So yeah, that's one of you. Then it's a row of you. Row of you. And then a row of you. And that leaves me all of this nice space here for like drone port and whatnot. Excellent. Okay, so now we have to start feeding the beastie here. Sorry, let me just, I just quickly looking at what I'm doing here. Okay, so plastic and all that stuff, a lot of stuff has to feed in, so I'm not going to be able to do a bottom feed for the computers like I was just thinking of doing. Instead, what I'm going to have to do is a top feed, but if I go, let's go with Mark IIs. If I go one there, one there, how do I avoid all of this? How can I be clever about this? I think I can be clever about this. Yeah. I kind of have a thought here. Let's see if this thought is doo-doo or not. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up the line here. How far over do I need to be? Right along here. So we're going to go like that, and we're going to go up by how many? Hamana. There we go. I think you should be okay. Let's grab a belt here just to test it with. I'll use a Mark III. And on default, that gives me that nice clean 90 degree. Perfect. Okay, so that means if I grab a splitter, and that'll snap to there. But here's where the cheeky part comes in. I'm going to grab a merger, which is going to feed there. So this machine basically is the only going to be able to feed this one. The other fellas, though, will feed the rest. So that'll go to there. So that's my merger to there. I can then grab you, lift you to the sky. Rise, rise. Come forward. There you go. Because that can go to there. We then grab that same Mark III belt, and I should be able to plug into the back of this merger here. Go back into straight mode and connect you there, so I get that nice little ziggy-zaggy, which is just fine. I can work with that. And then we can go like that and connect our belts. Like that. And there we go. So that then now feeds the computers happily into the machine. You need to be replaced, I think. Yeah, because there was no way you were jammed. Everyone else is flowing. You don't have enough circuit boards. I'm gonna have to do probably some tweaking and stuff like that, but why are circuit boards drying up? Why are my circuit boards drying up? Nope, no, squirrely. Let's not worry about, I'm gonna duck down soon in a minute anyway. Okay, so that is then going to bring the computers in. All right, so what is next to come in? Oh, there go the circuit boards. So the circuit boards are still moving. Why did we have that little dry spell? All right, never mind. Let's get the plastic loaded. All right, plastic. Plastic, 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 plastic. You, my dear friend, I think are going to load right in here. Okay, I'm going to put one of those there, and we're going to drop another one right there. How much plastic am I doing? 60, so we're going to get away with some Mark IIs. I might as well use the Mark III. Okay. So that's going to be plastic, and of course, you have to be moved again. So I'm going to very quickly redirect you to over here. And we will grab the Mark. Maybe I'll use Mark IVs for this. All right, into there. And then we can go all the way into there. Okay. Because then we're gonna put a belt there. We'll grab our belts here again. We're gonna come out to here. Scooch past. I'm gonna switch it back to default so I can get as tight a corner as possible. Which actually looks like the straight is the same. Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna go out to here. And then we are gonna stretch you to there. Okay. Grab a temporary lift, just so I can grab my guide, grab a splitter, snap you into place. You are still close enough, you should still get the tink. Yep, there it is. Which means plastic should load into you guys. And yep, there is plastic in that lift. Excellent. In fact, you know what? Let's take a few seconds here to connect up our power lines. Why are you not lined up quite right? Oh, that's because, never mind. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to actively ignore what I just noticed. Pretty sure everyone else has noticed the same thing. But I'm going to actively ignore that. Okay, so there we go. We got the power lines going into there. We can now throw a power line. No, we're going to swing our bat around. Let's grab a power pole down to there and get you guys connected. Yay! Okay, so you should now be slurping up. Why are you not slurping up your computers? Why are you no slurpy? Do I have to rebuild you? There we go. So computers loading, plastic loading, need the high-speed connectors and the AI limiters now. So we're gonna squeeze past. All right. AI limiters and high-speed connectors are, I'll just duck through the roof here, are not being sent anywhere yet. So these are the high-speed connectors, so we're going to need to move them out of here. What's directly below here? Do I have the room? Yes, I do. I can go, the high-speed connector's right through here. Yep, okay. That'll work. What about you guys? The shaft is getting a little bit crowded. So I think I'm going to do a little cheat on this one and send them upstairs. Yeah, we're going to do that, but we're going to keep it clean. So we're going to put our mergers on the floor after we make sure we have mergers. There we go. So we're going to go in that direction. I'm just going to take a belt here. Let's say Mark III. And because you guys are oh yeah, that'll be nice. Just to keep, because I've already got these guys coming out of the floor there, I think I should be able to get away with moving this guy up to here. So again, I'm just gonna kind of temporarily put him into his spot so I can grab my lift floor hole. Put you there, sample the lift again, and drop you down to here. Sample our belt and throw you into, not there, because I need to reverse the direction. There we go, reverse the direction. Grab said belt and throw you in like so. And we need another happy-dappy little belt going like that. Okay, so that is going to lift up my AI connectors. And then you guys, to be nice and clean. How's the silica? Is the silica going to get in the way? No. Is the quick wire going to get in the way? Probably. I don't really want the quick wire getting in my way. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit dumb about this. It's a bit of a dumb idea. I mean, not in that it's not going to work. It's just might look a little and be a little silly. But I'm going to grab a merger. We're going to put you right there. So I'm just going to grab a Mark III belt, throw you into there. I'm going to grab you and put you there. I'm then going to relocate you guys just slightly differently. So you have a little bit of a gap, not right up against, like right there, just to have a little bit of consistency, mostly underneath. Because now I can grab my Mark III belt. And yep, there we go. Snap you into place. Grab our Mark III belt. You got the tink. You got the tink. And then we can dump through here. Awesome. Okay. So now I need a merger for these guys. And seeing as I can now snap mergers to the ceiling, which way are you going to load in? Let's put you there for now. I actually can squeeze up to there perfectly. That actually works! Oh my goodness! Wow! And it looks like I only need a single merger. Yeah! I only need a single merger here. Nope. Oop, oop. Hang on. There we go. Well, that actually kind of worked out. Because now that can go into there. You can go into there. You're already hooked up. And literally, not that button. I can then bring you guys all the way up to here quite easily. Yeah. All right, so plastic, what am I doing? Okay, so let's see where the connections are. Okay, so computers, plastic, and now the next batch. Okay, they're all gonna be floor holes here. So I'm gonna have to do all my connections underneath, which is fine. So floor hole, floor hole. Why did you suddenly fall down? I didn't tell you to. Floor hole and floor hole. Let's put our Mark III, flip you and reverse you. Okay, and now we can go and figure out the connections. So, AI limiters are coming up right there. They need to go into one of these guys. I have you. And I'll just use a Mark V. You need to come up and go over to these guys, which means we'll drop you to there. I'm gonna grab a splitter, not a smart splitter, just a regular good old-fashioned splitter. Where are you? No. Is that what their full name is? Conveyor splitter? I've never paid that much attention to them. Oops. Okay, so you're gonna go there. We'll come over by... Actually, I need a guide. Sorry. We're gonna put you in, drop you down by 2. We're gonna convert you into Mark III. We're gonna grab you down to there. Then we're gonna grab our splitter. Our conveyor splitter. We are going to nudgy, 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 and nudgy, nudgy. I love all the nudges, except I've got you facing the wrong direction. Oops. Let's try that again. Okay. Nudgy, 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 nudgy. Are you all lined up? Of course you are. You're a good boy. We can then remove you and reconnect you, so you actually are connected. There you go. Tink. Grab our Mark III belt and plug you into there. Excellent. And then now we can take you and we'll use the straight functionality and throw you into there. Nice and neat and tighty. Then we have our AI limiters right there. So what we can do with you guys is we're going to go this direction. And that direction. And again, we're going to grab our splitter. Which way are you facing? We're facing that way, so we're going to feed in from there. We're going to go like that, and then we're just going to lift you up. Boom, like that. Just need the Mark III belt, and we just need you to go into there. Like you have purpose. I don't know if I already did this, but I'm going to do it again just to make sure. Yep, there's my little tink. And that is about got the supercomputer factory. Only thing, yeah, this is the last connection, and then my supercomputers. I don't know. What are you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you do that. Just don't. Please, just don't. And then we go. Ended up standing on a belt. Why am I moving sideways? Because you're standing on a belt. And then we're going to go like that. I could have turned that, but I don't... No, actually, it might actually be a better turn. Let's just redo that. Again, Mark III. Mark 3, please. Turn you like that. Lift you up by 2. There we go. Mark 3 belt. And into there. And 6 and 1/2 does the other. But, you are green, which means you are now making supercomputers. You are filling up rather quickly. The system is working. Still having some issues with the circuit boards, so let's now start working back the line and problem solving the circuit board line. Okay, so rubber, not a problem. We'll drop down into this floor here. So this is my circuit board floor. Yes. Let's drop down. I think it is the copper sheet, which is giving me the issue. So let's go up to that floor. And let's have a look at the circuit board machines. What are you guys struggling with? You're full up. What's your issue? Yeah, so you're struggling to get enough copper sheet. Okay, so let's drop down to the copper sheet floor. And we'll just take the elevator, so we'll go down not to the service floor, but to the actual floor. Let's turn that off and turn that off. There we go. Okay, copper sheets are being done here. You're full. Why are you full? Why are all of you guys full? Because I'm missing a connection. Why am I running out of copper sheets? Because I'm not making enough or transporting enough. There we go. So that'll let these guys now start to move. Excellent. Are we using Mark 5s on all these now? Yes, Mark 5, Mark 5, Mark 5, Mark 4. No, you don't get to be a Mark 4. I'm going to set you to a Mark 5. If I can get in here. There we go. Mark 5, Mark 5. Try and squeeze around here. That's a Mark 5 all through here already. Yes, you are. Okay. And Mark 5. Excellent. Okay, good. That was an easy fix. What are you guys doing? What are you working on? You're working on my quick wire. You are well fed. What are you? You're more copper sheet. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You've got yellow lights on. Why have you got yellow lights? Because you are full of quick wire. Okay, that's fine. Make sure you're all Mark 5s feeding up. Yep, see, there you go. That is incorrect. That needs to be a Mark 5. That's a Mark 5. Let's get full speed on these guys here. Quick wire. Quick wire is going up through there. No, no Mark 4, Mark 5. Mark 5. Mark 5. I don't think I can squeeze up through there. Let's just punch a temporary hole through the wall here as I chase down to make sure we're getting the maximum flow. Yeah, I know, I've gone through a bunch of things, and, you know, well, why did you make, if you're changing these to Mark 5s, why did you make everything else Mark 3s? And, well, just certain things don't need to be Mark 3s, certain things don't need to be Mark 5s, certain things do. So what I want to do here is just going to upgrade all of the lines where need be. So this is kind of the source location, so I want maximum flow through there because a bunch of stuff is going to be shifting off through that way. I don't know if I can get at that belt. Yeah, that's a Mark 5, so we're going to hit Mark 5 on that. Because I am dumping it quite a bit up through here. Upgrading it to a Mark 5 won't make any difference. You can see how it's kind of banging. Yeah, that's what I want to see, is I want to see the belts not be able to, at some point, that they're going to have that little stutter in there. That means the machines above them are fully loaded. And that's kind of what I was looking for. I don't need to see everything moving consistently. I'd rather see things moving on their own time. But the belt is full. It also means that everyone's getting enough. If the belt was constantly flowing here, that might mean that someone's not getting enough. The fact that it, on the source, it gets stalled a little bit, you know, only occasionally, so it's not much. And this is that little extra percentage. Why I always put that like 1 or 2% extra, is just so the fact that it backs up, that means every machine is full. They can't take any more until they finish their production. Why are you still like that? You're not losing and you're not dumping your circuit boards for some reason. That reason being is that you can't. Which is probably also why things are not getting enough circuit boards. Okay, so that is good. Let's patch any holes that might exist. Let's run into the stairwell. Let's head down to this floor here. How's everyone doing down here? Everyone's fine down here. Let's run down another floor. And let's see, you guys are all doing hunky-dory. I was just here. Let's run down one more floor. And of course, this is our... Nope, that's not our bottom floor. But yeah, nothing much going on here. Let's head back down one more. This should be smelting. And it is. Yeah, you're nice and full. Excellent. What's with the yellows? Just means I'm not dumping enough silica fast enough. That is fine. You are flowing. You're Mark 5. Yeah, okay, so everything's good. There. That's our supercomputers. If we run upstairs... Oh, okay, you know what? Let's honor this correctly. Let's push the button. And let's go to the top floor. What is that, 80 meters?
Thank you for exposing yourself to the soothing ambiance of a fix-it elevator today. I hope you feel refreshed.
There we go. And there we go. So, computers. Look at that. Working like a charm. Supercomputers. Oh, excellent. Supercomputers. Excellent. We are making supercomputers. That means this factory is fully functional. So all we need to do, let's just take the last little bit of the today's stream here. And let's close off our floors. So this is a service floor, which means, how did I do my service floors? It is a row of what? Yeah. Okay, so we got a row of these. Yeah, right? Yep, and then we take a row of these. And we take... can't do it there, so we'll have to do there. And then we can grab and do a row of those. And then a row of those. And then we can remove you. Then we can grab these and repeat. Step, we're going to come from here. Because we're going to leave that open spaced. Because that's going to be our drone port, and maybe I'll do some other detailing and stuff. I'll have to kind of look through the various architectural stuff, see if I can kind of figure out some mechanical looking things That'll go there. You are the same pattern repeating. Okay. The only thing you have different, I think, is you have columns going all the way up. Like so. There we go. And grab the window. And is that right? Yeah, that's right. Run you across. Grab you. Put you across. Now I have something underneath here. Then I can run you across. And across. And there we go. Okay, one more wall, which is pretty much just stacked like that. There we go. All right, what do we got in the center of these guys? More of the same. Okay, cool. I do have a little bit of a divider there, which I have there as well. No, cool, 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 cool. That's all good. We're gonna put some full concrete walls in there. And then we can continue you guys all the way. Oh, no, you guys can stop right there. Because that is going to be the drone port there. Excellent. Okay. And then finally over here, we just need to do our usual kind of end wall, the same as this one. Drop in the guides, throw you across. I think I'm gonna have a look at the map here. Where are my radar? Where's my closest radar tower? Actually, it's way over there. So it wouldn't hurt to have another radar tower up here, and I think that might be a nice little kind of feature. Cool. Okay, so we're going to need some ceiling. What kind of roofing do I want to use? I think I'll just go with straight tar. As soon as I figure out where my roofs are, we'll have to put lights underneath, obviously. Hello, roofs. Where the hell are you? Apparently, I don't have them anywhere on the toolbar. Okay then, fine. Go into the architectural. Hey, look, roofs. It's a big, tall building, so we'll stick with a flat roof here. We'll just go right away, all the way across. And which way are you facing? You are facing this way. There we go. So that gives a roof. Now I do need lighting in there because I don't have the next floor coming in. So we'll go look for. Hey, look! I found the roofs. It's on position number 1, except for whatever reason I've got the glass roof. So you know what? Let's just fix that. So we're going to turn you. There, now I can actually, yeah, there we go. Okay, so lighting blueprints on number 9, which we can turn like that. Yep, that'll work. I'm going to need the torch or the flashlight, depending on your geographical location. We're going to put one there. We are going to skip one, put one there, skip a, and when I talk about skip one, I'm talking about where the floor's roof pieces join. Skip one, and then we go to the next one, skip one, and that kind of lines up nicely. Excellent. And we gotta come all the way over to here. And it looks like it's all the same skip one pattern. So nice and evenly spaced. Like so. And then you can go there, and then you go there. And yeah, lots of light. Excellent. And that is our building. Let's do one last little thing up here. And I'm going to use the construction fence because you know, the idea of a nice little chain link fence here. Let's make sure we got the zoop active, and we'll just go boop, 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 boop. We'll flip you around, and we'll zoop you down to the end. And now the end is near. Now I face my fencing. And there we go. Okay. OSHA compliance. Check. Radar tower. We are going to need to fix you. So let's actually cut power to this floor for a quick sec. Because I need to remove this, and I need to remove this. Because we are going to use a pass-through like that instead. Because one, it was just passing through the wall, because now we have a wall there which we didn't have on the other floors. But I'm also going to grab the single wall outlet right here, because I'm going to put you right there and you right there. And I won't worry about you yet, but what I am going to go get is into my organization. One radar tower. Missing crystal oscillators. Of course I am. Am I making crystal oscillators anywhere in this godforsaken, not godforsaken, but in this tower here? No, I managed to eliminate them. I don't actually have any crystal oscillators on me. Of course not. All right, let's take a quick trip back. And then we can start thinking about next week's plan, because we are coming to the end of the stream here. So yeah, what I'm just going to finish off, look at that. I'm going to get some pillars still finished on there. I'm going to do some kind of lighting on it, I think. Maybe I'll actually use the overhang wall-mounted actual lights. We'll see about that. Get a radar tower up there. I'm probably off camera gonna set up the power plant and run the track to over there and get the packaged fuel and everything set up, because, you know, I don't know if, you know, you guys don't care about that. You've seen me set these things up before, so it's nothing new. But I think, yeah, so for next week, we will do our radio control units. We'll get the next tower in place. Pretty much everything is here already, so, you know, I am shipping it in via rail. Let's make sure. Oh, I went the wrong way. Shouldn't have touched the button. It's always taking a left first, then you hit E. Oh, why are you guys all stalled out here? Oh no. Uh-oh. This isn't good. might also have to apparently do some traffic control over here. I might have to put a slip lane in somehow. Who's blocking? Oh, good Lord. Oh. Not good. And I think the problem... Oh, no. Uh-oh. This is a mess. Well, how about I leave it right here, staring at this nightmarish mess that is, in fact, a roundabout that is going to have to be repaired. I'm going to have to come up with a better way of moving my traffic around here. Clearly, this can no longer suffice as a throughway. Yeah, it was working, now it ain't, and I'm pretty sure that the addition of this train was just the straw that broke the camel's back. This is a good and proper logjam. Yeah. I'm gonna pretty much just have to start backing guys up. Yeah, so I'll tangle this mess at a later date, but we got we got our supercomputer factory finished today, which is awesome. We're ready to go on the radio control. We need to get our drone port in. Gonna need to set up a drone port here as well, obviously for receiving in some way. Gonna need to do something about the traffic. It's too much traffic coming through here. I probably should do a redirect. Yeah, and I think instead of me rebuilding all of this nonsense here, what I'm going to do especially for this guy here, he seems to be the last straw. I'm going to extend, and I've got the rail ready to extend, so I'm going to extend the rail down through there over the water fountain, and it can join up with the roundabout that is over there. So again, this is why I future-proof. So I just have to drop some line in. Clouds, but I'll do that without dragging you guys through it, because it is a little bit, setting up the trains and running train tracks is so much easier now with the new nudging system and the auto snap and all that. It's really is pretty quick and easy, but it's it's still going to be boring for you guys, so I don't need to bore you all. Can I hide the HUD? Let's go into, there we go, and then we can go into there, hide the UI. In fact, I'm going to drop down so you guys can just see. There we go. All right, so yeah, I'm going to untangle the mess. I'll get the tracks laid out. We're going to get some power in, and then we're going to start working on the radio control tower. But that will be for next week, so that is it for today. Hey, I noticed there's some of you guys are still out there. Thank you very much for joining me live this morning. It's great to have you here. Really appreciate it. Hey, I really appreciate it if you leave a like on the video. Go ahead, leave a comment too. Let me know what you think. But that is going to be it for me today. Hey gang, thanks a lot. I want you to be safe, I want you to be good, and I want you all to have a great day. And bye-bye.